The age of information, an adage stated by many, refers to the near infinite amount of knowledge available on the internet. It is commonly said optimistically, with a positive view into a future where all Canadians have instant and available knowledge. Sadly, however, this video will demonstrate that this is not the case. Information technology, the set of fields concerned with the information provided to the public, has had more of a hand on Canadian society than ever before. The vast majority of Canadians consume information technology in one form or another, and whilst this may seem positive, unadulterated access to information can also prove to be detrimental. In the following 9 minutes, 7 individuals, including myself, will present 7 reasons as to why information technology has had a negative effect on Canadian society.
Access to information is important. However, when there is too much potentially significant and useful information available or brought to an individual, it can lead to stress, hidden truths, and overall be a hindrance to a Canadian's ability to learn. It's not a new concept either. Information overload was first described in the 1960s with the idea that on the flip side of access to information is the difficulty of filtering it, which has developed further with information digitization in the 80s and 90s and the social media boom in the 2000s. Even with developments in AI in the last 12 months, varying results are produced based on the sheer number of data points accessible on the internet. Due to a wide variety of causes, such as time constraints, lack of information literacy, push services, and a lack of data filtration, individuals become less efficient in finding the information they are looking for since they are exposed to too much of it and feel the pressure of a seemingly impossible task. Other consequences of information overload can include information anxiety, infobesity, fatigue, as well as attention deficit, cognitive overload, inefficiency, and misinformation. With an inability to encompass all that may be relevant to a topic of interest and the pressure of extracting such information, terms like TMI, coined to express a disinterest for too much information, have become increasingly relevant.
Here's the thing about information technology and screens. They're addictive. The more we stare at them, the harder it is to click the power button and walk away. Our brains are constantly hooked on the constant stream of information and entertainment that technology gives us, leaving us feeling anxious, unsatisfied, and disconnected when we're not plugged into the internet. Ever since the advent of the pandemic, phones, computers, tablets, anything with a screen has been our go-to for work, school, and even socializing. It's no surprise that according to a study by Stats Canada, there's been an overall 2% increase in internet usage and a 10% increase in the proportion of users spending 10 or more hours per week in the past 12 months. Consequently, every text, email, or even social media notification appearing on our devices triggers an increase in the stress hormone known as cortisol, which acts as a stress biomarker in our bloodstreams. As Canadians, we need to face the facts, and that is, the reality of the time we spend on our screens is not just affecting our individual productivity, but also our mental well-being. The more we immerse ourselves in our own little digital world, the more we are at risk of exposure to stress and cortisol imbalances that drive mental health problems.
Information technology, specifically social media, allows people to share their personal lives with others in detail never seen before. This may seem like a good thing on the surface, but it comes with detrimental side effects. Since most people only post the positive side of their personal lives on social media, users may feel inadequate due to the inevitable comparison between the user and the poster's personal life. 68% of Canadians in their early 50s to 60s report social media use, whilst 90% of teens to early 30s have at least one social media account. More and more Canadians are on social media, further exasperating negative comparisons amongst its users. On that note, 18 to 24% of social media users in the younger age groups reported feeling envious of the lives of others as a result of their social media exposure. This issue is near universal, meaning that some viewers, perhaps even yourself, can relate to and understand this downside of information technology. Given the significance of mental health in today's society, it is important to note that the spread of social media is more negative than it is positive, as users of multiple social media accounts reported 3 times higher occurrences of lost sleep, envy towards others, and depression than those with only one social media account.
As information technology has become widespread and easily accessible, so has its integration into the everyday lives of Canadians. Currently, almost every aspect of our lives involves some sort of information technology. It's particularly apparent in the workforce. All of our work is conducted on a screen, whether it's on a laptop, a tablet, our phones. It's really rare nowadays to have an in-person meeting because virtual meetings are just so much more convenient. After the pandemic, according to Statistics Canada, the number of Canadians working from home has increased to 24.3%. It used to be 7.4% back in 2016. Information technology and the plethora of devices at our disposal has fundamentally changed the structure of everyday working Canadians. Instead of being able to separate both our professional and personal lives, information technology and remote work practices have constantly blurred the lines between the two. This blurring of the two domains has led to an increase of time spent in the professional domain, especially by those who work from home. This is most often seen when checking work phones outside of work hours, receiving and even sometimes responding to messages and emails. And you can imagine the strain that this puts on personal relationships if somebody's constantly doing that. The blurring of the line between professional and personal lives has an effect on the mental health of Canadians. There's often an implied pressure of sorts to allow your work to infiltrate your personal life, with a constant connection through devices and applications.
The fear of missing out, or FOMO, has existed in many forms over the years, in feelings such as jealousy, social anxiety, and fear of judgment. However, with the age of information technology, social media has exacerbated the impact of FOMO. In this context, FOMO can be defined as a problematic attachment to social media where users suffer a preoccupation of lost social opportunity when offline. For example, you may have felt slighted when you weren't included in that photo from last week's party, especially since it got so many likes. Before social media, FOMO mainly existed within the stories of our community. Now we fear on missing out from things around the world. Because of social media, there are now constant reminders online of events and achievements we miss out on. It has been found that social media users exhibiting FOMO experience a continuous sense of anxiety if they think their friends may be having more rewarding online experiences than themselves. FOMO is directly related to fatigue, anxiety, stress, and an overall lack of emotional control. It can also leave people victim to toxic comparison behaviors, such as social media stalking and a direct comparison to their peers' social standing, accomplishment, and situation in life.
The American Psychological Association defines bullying as a form of aggressive behavior in which someone intentionally and repeatedly causes another person injury or discomfort. Bullying has further undergone a significant evolution with the advent of information technology, giving rise to the phenomenon of cyberbullying. Unlike traditional forms of bullying, cyberbullying harnesses digital platforms and communication tools to perpetrate acts of harassment, intimidation, and coercion. According to a 2019 report by StatCan, it has been revealed that a quarter of adolescents have experienced cyberbullying, which have significantly impacted their mental well-being. Additionally, the study indicates that the young individuals subjected to online victimization face elevated risks of depression, anxiety, symptoms of eating disorders, and contemplations of suicide or suicide attempts. With the increased integration of digital platforms into daily life, cyberbullying will become more pervasive and sophisticated, posing greater challenges for individuals' mental well-being. Similarly, as advancements are made in technology through AI, new emergence of cyberbullying can become more accessible to users through programs such as deepfake videos. In the end, the availability of information technology at our disposal has proven time and time again that those who can hide behind a screen and harass others will.
Privacy concerns related to information technology have also led to various negative effects on Canadians' mental health over the past year. The research highlights the escalating erosion of privacy, particularly in the use of information technology like social media, and emphasizes its implications for mental well-being. The constant awareness of surveillance and the fear of personal information misuse contribute to heightened stress and anxiety levels, negatively impacting mental health for Canadians. Further showing this is a survey which indicated that 91% of social media users feel a loss of control over personal information use, 80% worry about advertisers or apps accessing their data, and 70% express concern about government access. Privacy concerns extend beyond surveillance to self-concealment issues, which can disrupt individuals' basic psychological well-being. A study found a strong connection between the role of self-concealment and well-being with privacy concerns, and its disruption on individuals' sense of need satisfaction, which can interfere with the psychological needs for autonomy and security. This disruption contributes to an overall decline in well-being, which increases the negative impact on Canadian mental health. The negative consequences of privacy concerns become even more pronounced with the integration of machine learning applications. Research raises concerns on privacy and surveillance in machine learning prediction models and the potential for unauthorized access to sensitive data to directly impact the mental health of individuals who face the consequences of potential data exposure. With machine learning usage and development having significantly increased in the past year, the risk of negative effects on Canadians' mental health due to privacy concerns has been greatly heightened.
With information technology advancing, it is now harder to avoid being exposed to a screen, overloading us with information and instilling feelings of anxiety and stress in us. It also makes it difficult to disconnect from stressful parts of our lives, like work. Social media has now also allowed us to compare our lives with everyone around the world, causing us to feel jealous and brings down self-esteem. And with the internet connecting us to those with bad intentions and providing them a platform to spread their hate, it is no question the mental health of Canadians is declining.
Thank you very much for listening to our presentation.